Hey everybody, it's GauntletX and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today we're going to be playing another traditional draft of Aetherdrift. We are still trying to grind out that achievement, getting a win in a best of three round after losing the first game. So we're right back at it with the best of three drafts. Without further ado, let's get into our pack one pick one here. We have a really fun rare. I don't love playing three color in this format, but I think green is by far the best color at doing it. There are some cards like Starting Column and some dual lands as well that can help get you there. And I think Samet's a really fun, pretty powerful card to help us try to have a reason to play a three-color deck. So we can go for Samet here. If we want to be boring and safe, we could just take like a Hazard of the Dunes, just a really strong monocolored card in the strongest color, or Thunderhead Gunner is a really good card as well. But I think I'll take the Samet here, see if that works out. Pretty unlikely, but I don't see a whole ton of other power there to really push me in any other direction. Pick 2 is a little awkward here. I don't think there's a great follow-up for Samet. There's a Grease Wrench Goblin, I suppose. This is decent, giving us an exhaust ability. If we're flooding out on mana, being able to ditch some of those to draw something else is good. But I think Grim Bobble's the best card in the pack by quite a bit as some efficient removal. That said, again, Goblin's pretty close. I do like its exhaust ability a lot, and it'll play well in a Samet deck if we go there, giving us some just aggressive like 1-mana creatures and stuff. If we play some other Start Your Engines cards to try to be at a high speed before we play Samet, that'll also be pretty strong. Pick 3, all right. Bulwark Ox is actually one of the weaker rares. It's not that scary. It's a 2-mana 2/2, and whenever it attacks while saddled, you put a +1/+1 counter on a creature, and it saddles for 1. But like 2-mana 2/2, you have to tap another creature then to start getting counters on the board, and it's only 1 counter a turn. It's really just okay, but it's still the same power level of like a really strong, really solid uncommon like Gastel Raider or something, and that's really all that's in this pack outside of it, so we'll just take the Bulwark Ox anyway. Maybe be like Boros at the core. That's generally not what you ever want to do in this format. That is the weakest color pair, but Samet might pull us in that direction. Pick 4 now. Pact Altair and Engine Rat are my favorite cards here by a lot. Those would be really good follow-ups to the Grim Bobble. Strategist is also pretty solid. Then if we really, really want to stick Boros, we can take Leonin Surveyor or Canyon Vaulter, but I find both of these to be really filler in their respective archetypes. I think just because how filler the white cards are here, I'd rather take Surveyor for an early green Start Your Engines card, or just keep going for the stronger cards in the pack and just stay off of the Samet here. I'm going to go Pact Altair. I think that card's super important for the artifact-centric black decks. Pick 5, Risen Necroregent's a super strong card if you can have max speed by the time you cast it. So you do need to build around it. You need early cards to start your engines, and ideally some evasive threats or life drain cards like Pact Altair to keep upping your speed throughout the turns as you get to that 5 mana. But then 5 mana 5/4 spit on a 2/2 every turn is insanely good. So I am going to take that here, following up the Pact Altair. Although there is an option for the Samet deck, the Endrider Spike Spitter would be okay there. But I think Necroregent is like one of the best Start Your Engines cards in the whole formats for a top-end payoff. Pick 6, Sundial's perfectly solid, 2-mana 3/3, and that can kind of glue our two different strategies together, right? We could be the 3-color Samet deck with white and red at the core doing a lot of Start Your Engines, or we could be like a black-white Start Your Engines deck with Risen Necroregent as the top end. So Sundial fitting into either of those feels really nice to me. Boom Scholar's fine as well. It's good when you draft like a bunch of the exhaust cards, but I've not really been a super massive fan of that archetype. And again, I feel like Sundial kind of working in either way that this draft goes feels really important. Pick 7. I'm tempted to take Bloodfell Caves here because I don't know 100% what's going to happen this draft. Like, we also have the off-ramp of, like, Rakdos Start Your Engines, right? Red-black. That's another spot to be. But Auxiliary is a good top-end saddle card. It's pretty spooky, but I'm going to go for a really safe pick there and get some fixing. Pick 8, Endrider Catalyzer is going to be fine if we play a red deck that cares about max speed, which we're going to be doing if we're playing red, period. We would be playing red with some white cards that care about max speed or black cards that care about max speed. Either, again, red-white Samet or red-black Necroregent. So Catalyzer would be good if we end up in red at all. Ooh, pick 9 Thrill Seeker. So Rakdos Start Your Engines is open. Nobody took this card. This card guarantees that it'll raise your speed just when it enters the battlefield and pings your opponent. And yeah, you play this turn 2 and your speed is 2 immediately. You start your engines, you ping your opponent, boom, 2 speed. All right, I guess Rakdos is the direction we end up working towards off of that signal. Yeah, Bloodfell Caves looks like a really nice pick at this point then. Cool. Do I have 4 of that yet? I do. This is best of 3, so I'll grab a sideboard card then, since I already own all that. Already own all that. If you ever want to check how many you own in your collection, you just hold down the Alt key on Arena. Probably not playing Ironclad, but if we find random cycling synergies, it could be good. Get like the Crypt Collar Chariot stuff. Ooh, another Thrill Seeker. This pack's really strong as well, so I feel like the Thrill Seeker should definitely wheel. If we got one pick 9, pack 1, we can get one pick 9 this time, especially with other options like Boom Scholar, Beast Rider, Path Cruiser, Solid Fixing for anything. So I think we take Grimbauble, which definitely doesn't wheel, and then try to get the Thrill Seeker back if we're lucky here. Like, Grimbauble's going to be a little bit weaker than Thrill Seeker in this deck, but not like astronomically so. Grimbauble's still a really nice card for this deck, so it's not even like I miss taking a powerful card by taking Bauble if the Thrill Seeker doesn't wheel. And the upside of getting both of these would be insanely high. If we don't get both of these, then one of these 2 cards should be left, and both of these are perfectly fine in Rakdos as well. Oops, almost took definitely the wrong card. The rare was pretty fun. The rare was like for a cycling deck. All right. Fill out the mana curve a little, grab the 3-drop here for pack 2, pick 2. I also like this a lot in your Start Your Engines decks, because you can activate that ability to buff it up and just eat their blocker. So it's really easy to get damage in with this card, because they can't really make good blocks, because you're always threatening to eat their best creature by loading all your mana into that on attacks there. Bunch of fine cards here. Specialist, just the haste and early damage. Goda can get some treasures. Jalvanir helps push damage in the Start Your Engines decks by giving your creature the extra power to send into the higher toughness cards. Plus, sitting at 3 mana on the curve seems fine. I'll go Jalvanir on this one. I think it's good in pretty much this archetype and this archetype alone. Here's Thunderhead Gunner. I guess Rakdos and Orzhov, both of those are major Start Your Engines decks. But it's not good in like blue-black or green-black or anything. Thunderhead Gunner is just a really good card in general. It doesn't have any massive synergies with our deck, but it makes sure that we don't flood out in the late game, ditching those cards to draw other ones. Card's just good in general in this format. Pick 5. I like Thunderhead Gunner a lot, but I think we do want the really cheap removal in this deck, like Road Rage. That said, if somebody opens a Crypt Collar Chariot, I'd be so much happier with multiple Gunners. Because Crypt Collar Chariot is the black cycling build around. Every time you discard a card, you spit out a 2/2 zombie. And if you have that with Thunderhead Gunner, it's really nasty. It's the strongest thing you can do with that card. Okay, Engine Rat's real nice here. Efficient little creature, drains your opponent out of life in the end game. Stuff's all really filler this time. I'll go for the Goblin Surveyor. We're not self-mill for Gravestalker, and Calaxian just always trades into a smaller card, no extra abilities on it. Pick 8. I'll take another Thunderhead Gunner over Engine Rat. Hello, Windows security. I'll take another Thunderhead Gunner over Engine Rat. I don't know if this is right. We should probably keep our curve lower and take the Engine Rat here and be able to drain our opponent for life. But just on the off chance we manage to pull a Crypt Collar Chariot, I would be so happy with a double up. And here's going to be pick 9, where we see if we can wheel the Thrill Seeker again. Let's go. Only Rakdos player. Double Thrill Seeker. We got a deck here. Here's a Locust Spray now. That's going to be fine. I like it better in best of 3 because we can sideboard it out if our opponent just has no 1 toughness cards. Or we don't get to get into combats where this is profitable that often. Wow, yeah, this is so open. So open. Here's a side swipe. We can sack an Ironclad or a Grimbauble too to blow something up. I want to find more combos for that. Ideally, like some of these treasure producers, so we can sack a treasure for the side swipe. But we are low on removal, so I think I have to take Sideswipe there. Even if we do have to actually like sack something towards it. Risky shortcut can be fine. It raises your speed while drawing some cards. Tyrock's definitely over Gravestalker. Not insanely good. It has similar problems to Calaxian, but at least it's a 2-drop instead of a 3-drop, so it often just trades into a 2-drop. Okay. This time, I sort of feel like the Rakdos cards are weak enough to just take Thrill Seeker. I mean, we wheeled it twice in a row, so the odds of not wheeling this have to be really, really, really low. But the difference in power level between a Thrill Seeker and a Catalyzer or an Oil Gorger or like a Scrap Compactor is so much higher than the difference in power level between a Thrill Seeker and a Grim Bauble. Like, if it goes wrong, it goes so wrong here that we don't have triple Thrill Seeker. That's just such a great start to the deck. I mean, if we want to gamble on this pick, the gamble is Perilous Snare and hope that we hit a bunch of easy fixing for it, but I think we just take Thrill Seeker. Because the more aggressive your deck is, the more it costs you to try to be splashing, and this deck's going to be really aggressive. Of course, we immediately hit a Windscarred Crag after saying that, but it is what it is. Our victory should be good in here. We're like really good at hitting max speed, so this is just going to be a tutor every time that comes with a creature to make it a 2-for-1. Take that over Windscarred Crag because we didn't take the Great White Rare. Some filler here, and we don't have any double black or double red cards, so I don't even think tap lands are that helpful here. Like, they could genuinely be detrimental when we have like a tap land in a hand that has a 1-drop, 2-drop, and 3-drop. So I don't even know if I'm excited about playing multiple tap lands in here, even if they're all on color. So I'm just going to take some filler creature. We'll grab Deathless Pilot, I guess. Pick 4. Maximum Overdrive's great in this deck. You're curving out, playing a lot of aggressive creatures, and your opponents can play some really big blockers, and being able to trade up into them no matter how big they are is pretty excellent for getting things out of the way. So I love Maximum Overdrive in this deck. Pick 5, not in love with any of this. My favorite by far is Thunderhead Gunner, but I don't think this is a deck that wants the triple gunner. But I guess we can do it. Gastel Raider should be good in here. We're consistently getting our speed up. This is great if your opponent has an instant or sorcery in their hand. Yeah. Another Hour of Victory is exciting. Lightning Strike's fine too. And we can always shoot face with that. Got Bauble. Overdrive, Rage. Yeah, it's probably Lightning Strike. You're probably right. Hour of Victory's cooler though. So that's too bad, Arena. Thunderhead Gunner number 4. Man, this deck would have been insane if we opened a Crypt Caller Chariot. We have 2 Hour Victory to tutor it out and 4 Thunderhead Gunner. I'm so sad we didn't get Crypt Caller Chariot. This was our opportunity to go insane. Scrap Compactor could be fine. I'm just going to top off, though. All Gunners all day. All right, Catalyzer comes back. Locust Spray. Another Goblin Surveyor. That's almost definitely getting cut. I've got a lot of other 3-drops I think are just better. Same with Ironclad. I'm probably not playing either of those. No cycling synergies. Alright, we got a solid little Rakdos Start Your Engines deck to build here. Just going to cut our most mediocre spells and get in there. Lots of creatures here, that's good. 20 creatures, cut at least 3 of these real quick. Probably Goblin Surveyors, it looks like. Yeah, Deathless Pilot. Yeah, I'm cool with those as the 3 creatures to cut. Spells, Locust Sprays, use those as sideboard fodder. Hour of Victories are basically more creatures too, though, and Ironclad is super bad. So I'm going to cut Ironclads. But yeah, with double Hour of Victory, probably actually cutting another creature or 2. Yeah, I should probably cut a Gunner. 5 drops for this deck. Yeah, let's go Gunner Land. Locust Spray. Still have 1 in the main deck, I guess. Because it's also a combat trick. Sure. Cool little Rakdos Start Your Engines deck. This looks like a fun one. Looks like a powerful one. I do need to swap the lands around. But we will call it a deck there and hop into the gameplay. Here we are on the play for game 1 of round 1, and this is some hyper aggro stuff that I am into. Hyper aggro generally super bad in this format. It's a lot of great defensive creatures. You can easily lock the board state up and defend yourself well, but it is possible that decks kind of overcorrect for that and get a little too focused on the late game and then just completely forget that people can draft really good curves. So if we run up to some players that are drafting decks like that are a lot more oriented at the big long board stalling games, we could still have a good time with a really aggressive deck like this. We'll see. So Locust Spray stays in, and I put the other copy in because we can kill Sarcophagus with it. Yeah, I mean, it's not mana efficient, but boy, is it damage efficient with a 4-power creature on board. I'm gonna spray that. Oh, I also haven't started my engines yet, which could be a little awkward. Tap out to flood the tie rocks, fair. Let's raid them, keep them off another removal spell, and then start Javelineering. Oh, hello, Sab. Okay, so some counter spells for our next creature. And they're going to try to get a green source to a Sab to stabilize. Locust Spray is awesome in this matchup. A +1/+1 counter. They're on 3 lands right now. Let them kill Goblin to just kill them next turn. From the cards we've seen, they're dead on board next turn. They have to have drawn into something efficient here. Optimizer barely works, but it does work. I think. No, I'm wrong. They're still dead. Well, no, they blocked the 3/2 take 4. It does work. They're going to be at 1 life, and then I just go land, activate Engine Rat. Locust Spray is insanely good in this matchup. We just saw 3 2-mana 2/1s from our opponent in a row. They went Sarcophagus, Optimizer, Optimizer. All right, come on in, Locust Spray. Copy number 2. We know they have a Sab, so if we hit the late game, we lose. They've got one of their cards in there that's just going to beat us, period. We don't have anything in this deck that can deal with an indestructible Amonkhet God. So play a little faster and cut another gunner, I think, for the Locust Spray, and then just get in there. It's fine to me. Let's go. All right, opponents on the play. They keep a 7-card hand. We are on the draw. We keep a 7-card hand. This is really nice. 2 cheap pieces of removal that we have seen will work against their cheap plays, followed by the Thrill Seekers to up that speed. Quite guaranteed. This hand seems real good. Midnight Mangler. No, they slid it in the card that's too big. I mean, Catalyzer attacks in that, so I guess I play that here. And then we just kill whatever else. Top deck any land. Play that land, cast whichever one of these we can cast while casting Thrill Seeker in the same turn. I see. The counter spell it is, you say? Let's go Mutant Surveyor then, because it's going to draw us a card from the graveyard anyway. So, I mean, we saw a million copies of 1 and a blue counter creature, so that's what this is going to be this turn. And our best play against that is just Mutant Surveyor and draw a card off that later. Yep, get that out of here. Oh, they're actually 4-color, by the way. Blue, green, white, black. There's Hour of Victory. Tap out of an instant speed Road Rage for that. And Road Rage is only going to matter if they play like a 2-1 here. But I want to raise my speed this turn and next turn. And Hour of Victory dodges the special interference. We saw multiple copies last game, I believe. Spike Shell Harrier. Bounce that, lower our speed, we just recast it, re-raise our speed. Harrier is unfortunate for our deck. Kind of just like designed to beat us. Alright, I'm going to tap out for Hour of Victory because I want to get in a position where I have Bobble on board to sideswipe the Harrier, I think. Our opponent has successfully, I mean, they're so stable here. This is going to be a long game period. Jesus. Double Harrier? Can't put me to 0 speed, thankfully. But, I mean, I guess even if it could, I just restart my engines. Yeah, double Harrier's filthy. That's going to be a problem for us. Play a Death Touch or pass. I mean, literally designed to beat our deck. Slow down our creatures on board and our speed on the speedometer. Give them all the time in the world to start ether siphoning and drawing 2 cards a turn. Getting way ahead off that. Okay, at least camera launcher's pretty booty. This is going to be cost intensive here. I'm going to spend 3 cards to kill 2 of theirs. But I think it's going to be worth it in the long run. This gets them to not ether siphon this turn. So like if I don't do this, they're still going to be up a card by just drawing the card this turn. So just stopping that seems fine. Unfortunately, I can't stop them from max speeding because they're still going to have that Thopter they exhausted for. But we deal with everything else on their board. Oh, congratulations. You've won. Stab has hit the board, and we have nothing in the deck to deal with it. So that's game. I think Ether Siphon, Ether Siphon probably would have won this game without the Sab, but Sab super wins this game now. Because just by virtue of just drawing 2 cards a turn, they know that they can find the tools they need to block everything we're going to be playing from that point on. Yeah, this game was gross. There's not even really anything we can sideboard around. Just Midnight Mangler was a good early blocker, and Spike Shell Harrier, we didn't see it game 1, but I mean, laser focused on completely dismantling this archetype. So that's a horrible card to see that they've got a couple copies of. Yeah, I'm going to move on to game 3. The best way to buy them time to hit the Sab. I mean, I guess we could play Blockbuster to blow up the 4/4 body. But this only sacks a creature or vehicle, and we don't have any really expendable creatures or vehicles in this deck. Like, we can't sack a Grimbauble for that. That's our one really good synergy there. All we can do is sack, like, an actual 2/3 or 4/1 or 3/1 or anything like that. But I guess that way it's technically making the card trade up where it wouldn't have otherwise, so it's probably better than a second Thunderhead Gunner in this matchup. I mean, if the game goes long, we just lose. I don't think we can rely on Thunderhead Gunner value. So yeah, we'll run that over another Thunderhead Gunner and get back in there for game number 3 of round 1. We can't keep a 6-lander. I mean, some decks can that have powerful late game, but our late game's never beating our opponent's late game. There's no shot. We just keep a 6-lander here. Yeah. Okay, this is way better. Goodbye 5-drop. I've only got 2 lands in the hand, so I cannot rely on you. Thrill Seeker next turn, Goblin plus Locust Spray, hopefully. Or they just don't play a creature and then I'm even happier. God. They just managed to clear out their whole draft pot of every copy of Midnight Mangler. Just cut their 4 2-mana 2/1s and put 4 Midnight Manglers in. Rough. Overdrive's a solid draw against it at least. When I guess I actually could have still Locust Spray Goblin. But I get a beefier Thrill Seeker this way. Yeah, this still works well. We've got the 3/4. Yeah, I should have still just Locust Sprayed, actually. I didn't even realize Locust Spray still just works against Mangler when I've got the 2/3 specifically. It's the 2/1s and 2/2s and stuff the Mangler really clumps off. We're definitely playing to the board. Can only play the board with 1 more creature either way. I think I actually want to play Goblin here instead of Thrill Seeker, because Thrill Seeker gets me to max speed pre-combat next turn, which could be relevant to have Death Touch on the attack. Plus Thrill Seeker hastes in next turn as well. If I don't draw another creature to play, it'll be hasting in the swing. Whereas the Goblin, I have to play it now to get rid of the Summoning Sickness. Okay, Thopterist, annoying. Do I Locust Spray the 1/1 or save it as a trick here? I mean, I'm going to be attacking with Death Touch already and enough power to kill the other creatures. I think I Locust Spray right now with the mana up. Oh, Grimbauble 2, jeez, let's go. It's a draw. Full speed ahead. I don't have extra cards to discard the Grease Wrench Goblin, so I'm offering the trade here. Get the launcher out of the way before it spits out an extra creature, and it's just even more blockers. And just cast Risky Shortcut if I want to discard 2, draw 2. I'll just straight up draw 2, because I don't have cards to discard in the first place. Our Victory Gastel Raider. I imagine our opponent has the counterspells in hand, so we want to Hour of Victory over Raider. Stock up, 2 mana up. They're dead on board. Flood of Thrill Seeker, no longer dead here. Oh. 3's a small army. That is 2 and 1 for our first round. Really nasty draws there. And what we hit 3 Thrill Seeker. What can you say about it? Really incredible stuff. Yeah, we take it 2 and 1. A victory in round 1, heading into round number 2. Tempted to keep a 5-lander on the draw. We got Thrill Seeker and Catalyzer. Those are really good cards. Again, I think we mulligan every 6-lander for sure, but 5 we have to debate that. We're on the draw here. Our Thrill Seeker is excellent. First draw is land 6. I should have mulliganed. Now it's a 6-lander. We're playing against the white deck. Nothing. Oh my god. Double land draw. Lead with Endwriter Catalyzer. Play a Blockbuster. 3 mana 3/2. Sure. They're red, green, and white. There's a Pact Altair. Hey, let's go. Raise our engines even if we're not getting damage in. I think I actually would like the trade here because I can raise my speed either way. But we didn't get the trade. I'm still playing Thrill Seeker, obviously. not going to skip out on it just because I already sped up. Because I'm playing Pact Altair next turn. So I can't just hold it for later. Sky Seer's Chariot. Choose an online card name, activated abilities of sources. Doesn't even cost 2 more. It doesn't do anything. I guess it stops Catalyzer, but I have infinite mana. Yeah, I really do. Pact Altair for sure. This is a crew 2, so they can block with it. I can't attack with Thrill Seeker, but I can send Catalyzer in. I should be playing this post-combat. Don't let my opponent know what's coming up. Yeah, because they might have felt more inclined to take a trade there had I played Pact Altair post-combat, because they might have been like, well, I need them to not raise their speed, but if I guarantee raise my speed anyway. That said, I think, oh my god, I think I also would not want the trade there. So maybe it was actually beneficial to lead with Pact Altair to just try to get them to take the extra damage and not the trade, because trades are pretty terrible for us when we have just no other action here. I mean, we're on 9 lands, 3 spells this game. There's Endrider, Spike Spitter. Really chunky blocks over there between Jaguar, Spike Spitter, Chariot. It's going pretty bad. It's really late for Grimbauble, but it makes sure we don't flood out from here, which is nice. Oh, it does max our speed, because Pact Altair's ability. Okay, that's actually so much better than I thought it was. Yeah, that's a death-touching Thrill Seeker now. So we get the attack in with that. Yeah, that's way better than I thought. I completely forgot about the Terror Trigger. Terror Trigger's a massive deal here. Their life total matters a lot more than ours right now. So I'm setting this in on the attacks rather than holding it up on blocks. The biggest thing that matters about our life total is just trying to keep them off max speed to keep Spike Spitter from drawing a bunch of cards, but we can't do that. They have Skyseer's Chariot, and we don't have Reach. So I don't think there's any reason to be holding Thrill Seeker up just because it's a good blocker. Definitely getting the damage in. Just me drinking more ice cubes. Jaguars sending in. No blocks. Surveil, show me land, land. Ooh, tasty Thrill Seeker. There was another land still. But yeah, I'll keep the Thrill Seeker for sure. Card is great on this board. And my stomach is hungry. I always start these recording sessions right after breakfast is the 3rd draft, so I record well through lunch. I only eat 2 meals a day, generally. Either like breakfast and dinner or lunch and dinner. Anyways, that's unnecessary info. Just if you heard the tummy growling, just know we're getting near the end of the recording session. It's ready for foods. Let's seek some thrill, shall we? Alright, cool. We kill the Chariot, but the rest remains. So the Jaguar gets to send in, try to get the Spike Spitter drawing cards every turn. They can attack both here and guarantee max speed, but if they don't have the combat trick, we can just double block Spike Spitter and kill it. I feel like they definitely have the combat trick with how they've been playing, but the thing's got vigilance anyway, so it's not like we're attacking through it. I have to attempt to stop them from drawing an extra card every turn, I think. Kill the 3/1, and then maybe it's like a small burn spell on Pact Altair or something. It's not. We just like genuinely had a good block the whole time. Hey, Locust Spray. Both of these games have made me want to be main decking both Locust Spray. Because that is genuinely good here. Again. I should have sent Pact Altair, that was dumb. Because the block is free, and then they just get to get max speed and draw the card. I just wanted to like push damage if they wanted to trade with Thrill Seeker, but that was never going to happen. That was a bad play. That's a bad draw. Well, if they didn't draw removal, then oops, I win. Ew. Okay, we'll put them to 2. Four, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're 11 lands down. There's only 5 left in the next 23. Our odds are getting real nice on top decks of hitting gas, but now they're drawing an extra card every turn because I'm dumb. But I guess if I wasn't dumb, I would have been holding up a Pact Altair and it would have gotten eaten by Spike Spitter regardless. But they wouldn't be max speed yet. Misplayed, get rewarded, baby. 1-0 heading into game number 2 of round 2. All right, we're on the draw for game 2 because we won game 1. So I'm going to cut an additional land and a gunner, I think, to go Locust Spray, Surveyor, Ironclad. I mean, I love the Locust Spray here. Because we also just get to use it as combat tricks with 2/3s into 2/3s. Looked like a great matchup for Blockbuster. I mean, okay, they've got one chariot we saw. Maybe Deathless Pilot and a Locust Spray. Yeah. Lower the curve, lower the land count a little. Sure. Yep. Looks solid to me. Let's head back into the gameplay. Solid opener here. Definite keep. Bolt Tender. Oh my god, Locust Spray MVP. Whee! Gotta get that F6 value. Insta-kill Bolt Tender. Marshall's Path Cruiser, nothing on board to crew that. That's just going to be mana for them, which means we're going to be getting damage in here. No Mutant Surveyor over our victory. Can use these as like a 5-drop. Play and crack them in the same turn. If we draw another swamp. Pride of the Road. That is quite a large blocker. Can double activate Surveyor and it's still not big enough, but Pride of the Road isn't a big enough blocker to kill either of these. So I guess if they block Surveyor, I activate once in Road Rage instead of Hour of Victory. And then Thrill Seeker's gonna be Death Touch in the future. Okay. Smart block from opponent. We can't kill the Pride of the Road then. I am at maximum speed. Got Death Touch now. I can crack an Hour of Victory to find another Thrill Seeker. I can just chain Thrill Seekers together because I have double Hour of Victory. That'd be fun. Although I'm going to have 5 mana here, so it might be the Thunderhead Gunner. Yeah, these Hour of Victories are sweet here, that they just get to find our top-end late-game plays. Actually, the Necro region, obviously, that's what we should do. Blockbuster. There's nothing for them to kill here, so nothing to sack. Kill the better blocker, the 3/2. I don't really care about them attacking back at us. So you can keep the first strike. It's also the better card to crew Path Cruiser. Without that, they don't have 5 power on board to crew it. Ooh, Locust Spray. I can cast Hour of Victory and Locust Spray, or crack that first Hour of Victory and cast the new one. So I'm just going to send the team in, hold up the spray. Alright, they can just go 2/5 on the 2/2. That was a dumb attack. Oh, but they're not going to. You love to see it. Wow, that's actually so insanely lucky. If they just did that like the other way, it'd be really bad for me. Or just not block them with Surveyor. They're at speed 3 now. Another Leonin Surveyor. An Aether Jacket. I don't think I'm tutoring this turn then. It's a sick draw. Probably kill the Path Cruiser here. Like, either I get to kill 2 of their cards, or their 1 Path Cruiser, or I get to hit them for 2. And any of those is a good result for me. Alright, hit for 2 it is. And a couple light with their Velo Heart Bike. Catalyzer doesn't do a ton on this board. I don't hate ditching it to draw something else. But it's probably not worth it. There's still like 10 more lands in this deck. Gunner instead. It does give me the mana that I need to cast the Necro Regent and crack the other Hour of Victory in the same turn next turn, which should be pretty nice. And it's got to be Necro Regent, right? This deck is good. Yeah, Necro Regent. Okay, now Thrill Seeker just trades into a bike, and that's pretty awkward. What am I drawing with the next Hour of Victory? Just like a draw 2? Might just be the draw 2, make our opponent lose 2. Oh, we both lose 2, but their life total a lot more relevant here again. Collision Course Thunderhead Gunner, well, now they can't kill the Necro Regent with that. They do get to go to max speed with a Pride of the Road on board, though, and that is scary. This deck does not have a lot of hard removal. It's all combat tricky stuff, mostly. Small removal spells. So the Pride of the Road is pushing damage here for sure. Just draw the risky shortcut? Okay, well, we're not tutoring for that then. It's probably like the Death Touch Indestructible trick here to break through the Pride of the Road. Protect the Necro Regent as well. I do have Hellish Sideswipe, but nothing to... I mean, I could sack a zombie. I am making one every turn now. I still think I'm on just maximum overdrive and just jam. I think the really important part was just getting Necro Regent here. But I mean, you never know. I could die to just 4 in the sky every turn. I am shooting myself for 2 again, but they're at 13. I'm just going to swing the whole board, see what happens. Crew the bike. Double strike bike is the play. Well, that's an easy chump then instead. That's 4 damage. And they kill both of these. I draw a card there and still kill the bike. Doesn't seem horrible. Like, I've got the Necro Region. I'm getting creatures every turn. I can go for a long kill instead of a short one. And grind out little value blocks like this that I think are favorable. Guess I get to see what's in their hand instead of drawing a card here. Mountain. Alright. Go. They only kill Necro Regent off a double block. So they don't. I do need to not die on the crackback, and I have 1 blocker up. I just block Path Cruiser, take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I don't die on the crackback. And then maximum overdrive off that tutor should be the mega win here. Killing the Pride of the Road, stopping the double strike. Beautiful. They're down to 4, just top decking here. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have 2 blockers up because Necro Regent. So safe. Yeah, nasty, nasty round there. Quick little 2-0, and we are now 2-0 in the whole traditional draft, heading into a final boss here. Getting at least 1,000 gems out of this one, and hopefully pulling out a victory in that 3rd round for maximum prize out. Huge, huge prizes on the line for the final round. But if I can get the achievement for winning a game, or winning a round after losing the first game, I'd be happy with that too. But I guess if I do that, then I've got both. I'm just so far in the money at that point. I got the achievement and 2,500 gems. That'd be insane. All right, this has been a sweet, super fun draft no matter what. It is not often you get to play quick, aggressive games in this format. And we're actually getting to do that with this deck, which is pretty fun for variety's sake. So it's been a great draft so far. We'll see if we can't end it off with a bang. At least a nice, solid best of 3 round of Magic here, even if it is a loss. We'll see. Hopefully, at least it's a good round no matter what ends up happening. Playing against a red deck, that'll be interesting. Hey, we draw into the curve. Let's go. Engine ran to Tyrax into our victory. Not the craziest 3-drop, just a 2-2, but it gets our engines going to be sped up here. There's the Grease French Goblin to trade into Tyrox. Sure, start our engines. Tyrox is always going to end up trading against Boros. I mean, we just trade him. Like, unless I have, like, all my Locust Sprays in hand, which are gonna get in again. I wish I was just main decking them, because they would have been so great today. I mean, we just really didn't play against a lot of, like, big, beefy green stuff that you run up against a lot. A lot of Boros, Mardu kind of archetypes today. So there's one toughness, there's one toughness. This is another round where Locust Spray is fantastic. Probably Mutant Surveyor here. I really don't want to Maximo Overdrive against Coordinator. Yeah, you got it. Kill my 2-2. I will play a 2-3 instead. Any land would be sweet. We could play Catalyzer and have the Overdrive up this turn. Awesome. Go team go. Trade into the Engine Rat. Try to kill Surveyor. Alright, maximum overdrive. Boop. I would have been least happy with them not blocking there, but we still would have hit max speed. We'd still have overdrive up on blocks. It'd still be a great spot. So as obvious as the overdrive is kind of on that attack, it's still just go for it. Outpace Oblivion, kill Surveyor. We hit for 4. Put them to 12. They hit Catalyzer. Interesting. I guess they're scared of the mana with the Hour Victory active here. That is Thunderhead Gunner mana. Boop that instead. Cycle a Skybox Fairy, that's going to be rough over there. They really want to be impacting the board right now, and they just play a single Tyrox and scoop them up. They don't even want to see what happens from there. That is going to be 1-0 starting off the final round, and now it's impossible to get our achievement for losing the first game. That's going to be a constant theme of these traditional drafts. That's all 3 I recorded today. It's just not going to happen. But hey, we've had a great record. We did, I think we went 3-0 into 2-1, and then now 2-1 at worst right now. Anyways, back into the game. I'm so happy with another Locust Spray. Probably just got a Gunner for it. We are on the draw, so I could cut a land because I'm more likely to draw mana. Another draw step towards it early. But I think we have those like big Hour Victory into Necro Regent, like 7 mana plays potentially available in the late game anyway. So, plus like Grease Wrench, ditching a land and stuff. I'm just going to ditch a Gunner for Locust Spray and get back in there for game 2 of the final round. Another 5-lander. But it has Thrill Seeker again. I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to keep it again this time. But if it goes the exact same way, I think we won in the end. But it did immediately hit another land again. Overdrive is 2, man. I'm going to start with Thrill Seeker here. I can't like Tyrox and then attack Overdrive and still play Thrill Seeker in the same turn. And I'm really going to need to Overdrive if they play anything against Tyrox. No, it would have been better to play Tyrox first because they have no creature because they're stuck off white. No. I'm going mana efficiency. Could be wrong if they end up still missing on any creature next turn. We could hit harder with Tyrox. But being able to overdrive plus Tyrox this turn is huge. And if that isn't relevant, I can just Tyrox plus put my 5/4 Necro Regent in my hand and start spinning out zombies, which would also be insane. Crash and Burn's fine. As long as I hit them with one of these two and get max speed, we're golden. So Yeah, let's do the thing. Let's pick up the Necro region here. All right, the draws this game have been incredible. Very, very good draws off the 5-lander. We post-combat Necro region, give them less time to blow it up with removal. Force them to choose if they want to blow up like Tyrox first. No, I can overdrive and Grease Wrench Goblin. It's 4 mana to do the whole Grease Wrench Goblin thing. Yeah, no, we just sent Tyrox and Regent it up. Cool. Necro Regent. Now next turn I can 4 mana Grease Wrench plus Overdrive. Crash and Burn Necro Regent, fair. We still got 4 power on the board. Great draws. Here's a Gastel Raider. Yep, I can play the Goblin and hold up Overdrive now instead. Get rid of a Gallant Strike. They have 3 white cards and a 5-drop. Am I right? There we go. Like, I know I have a good response to that somewhere. Hey, they got the white source. That's good. There's Thunderhead Gunner. I mean, they're really dead because we have the Overdrive too. They just really missed the lands way too long, so. Still a very unfortunate game for our opponent. There's the Sideswipe. That's certainly not lethal. It's cool, though. Thrill Seeker Sideswipe might actually be lethal. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, it is. That's brutal. Wow. 10 damage. Gross. All right, well, I mean, not much of a game there. We had really incredible draws. Our opponent had really, really bad ones, but that's a 3-0 draft with aggro, and I mean aggro. This was some of the most aggressive stuff I've ever seen happen in this format. Like, not since very early in the format and like the early access draft have I seen aggro decks really be able to pull this kind of stuff off. We had a lot of luck today. I don't think the draws were like insanely mega lucky or anything like that. I think the best luck that we had, honestly, was in the matchups. The decks that we got paired against were just decks that were particularly well suited for somewhat mirror matchy decks, and then the one slower deck from our opponent that didn't have a ton of early blockers. I think we're really well suited for those matchups. We managed to dodge all of the best anti-aggro spells in the format, particularly a lot of the green beefy stuff. The Scurryfoots, that's like a 3/3 and a 2/2 for only 4 mana. The 4 mana 4/4 blockers from green. Just a lot of the big sturdy green blockers and stuff. We just completely dodged those matchups, didn't run into a single deck that was doing that kind of stuff. So really it was the matchmaking that where we got lucky today. Like, often you're going to get really lucky in terms of like, oh, I opened several really, really strong bomb rares. Didn't really do that. We've got a really good synergistic deck. We went for the most open color pair to build a super strong synergistic deck, but we're on 0 rares over here. When it comes to the draws and the gameplay, they were definitely good, but they weren't like insanely great all the time or anything like that. I think this was luck of the draw in terms of matchups today that really, really got us quite far. And luck of the draw in terms of our opponents drawing pretty poorly. I mean, that very last game of Magic, super, super bad draws from opponent. And there was a lot of that going on as well. So, yeah, I'm super happy with this run. This was a really fun deck. It's all commons and uncommons. It is just scrapping with just full aggro, max speed synergy. We have cards that are really just uncommons, but they sort of play at that bomb level in this archetype, like the Thrill Seekers to really consistently get that speed up, the Necro Regent spitting out that army of zombies, and the Hour of Victories tutoring for whatever we need at the time. Really, really cool stuff from this deck. And it was a super fun one. Super fun way to speed up the format for this draft and grab the full prize out while we're at it. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.